Welcome to another Ripple XRP update. So in this video, I'm just going to talk about the D wave and the waves that are happening within to make me think that this is going lower. So if you would have seen my previous video, I did mention that this entire pattern is an unfolding zigzag, right? So some markets have a small zigzag, some have big zigzags. Usually when they're smaller, they tend to form out like a triangular shape. Like for example, down here in 2017, you clearly see the zigzag here was, fairly small, and the waves that came later, they just basically all started contracting until you basically had your move up, right? So it's A, B, C, D, E right there. Okay. So looking at it like this particular zigzag is very big. It's very similar, to what's happening in the euro. Obviously a different chart with different time frames, but the first move down since 08, the 08-09 time till 2014 or 15 or something, that was a large wave A. I'll link that video below so you can see what I mean. So this one is still unfolding in the A wave. Right now, a lot of people disagree and they say it's not going to go down to 3 cents or 4 cents, maybe 15 cents, maybe this and that. Like, does it really matter what your opinion is? I'm just giving you my reasons why I believe that's the case, right? And using the waves. Okay, so it's basically a measured move from the end of the E wave, which has not happened yet, right? For example, if the E wave goes a bit higher, then this target may be a bit higher as long as it makes the final new low underneath this point here, right? Because for it to be officially deemed a zigzag, it must make one more low. Now that low could be around 10 cents. It's possible, if you have the E wave that goes a bit higher, there's no rule saying it can't go a little bit higher. It just can't make a new all-time high just yet. But I don't think it'll go that high. I think it'll just go around this area somewhere, and then it'll come back down. Whether it's down here, up here, I don't care. I'm going to buy it anyway, and I'll be buying it throughout the whole time anyway, so it doesn't really matter. If you're bullish on XRP, one more move down isn't really going to be a problem because you know what's coming in the future. In terms of price prediction, I did say initially when I first started looking at this that it would be 175, but I do believe that there is actually a lot higher upside to that. I suppose 100 to 200 area would be very minimal in terms of expectation. So it's not really wrong in a sense. It's just not the end of the move, right? I never said it's going to be 175 is what it will reach and that's it. It'll never go higher. I never said that, right? But either way, it doesn't matter. In terms of upside, I think that we shouldn't even talk about upside because this is going to be a long-term game, so it doesn't really matter. So now zooming into the 4-hour quickly, just so we can gain some perspective here. If this is a C wave up here, then this is going to be a zigzag D wave, right? This does not look like it's going up just yet. And I'll explain to you my reasoning behind that. All right, so if I just quickly switch on these labels I have for wave D, okay, so the way I see this is that this is the A wave in brackets, so there's an A, B, C. Within B, in brackets, you get, once again, the A, B, C, D, E. This is AriasWave, right? So as I zoom into this, right, you can see that there's this move here was a C wave. So we had a 3, 3, 5, and now I'm expecting a D wave within the D wave, right? So once we get that D wave within the D wave, we're gonna head for the E, and that'll be the end of B, and then we're gonna go for the C, which will be the end of the D, which is the larger D, right? So I drill down on the waves and get very specific. So there are certain rules within this that basically can invalidate this idea, and that would be, okay, so if this is A wave of the D wave. So for example, we're going to have like a zigzag here, and it's going to go something like this, something like that, right? No, that's just very rough, right? You'd have something like a 3, 3, 5, 3, 5 or something like that happen, and then you'd go down for the D wave. Zigzag, very rough once again. So that would be D, and then you'd get E, and then finally you'd get your C wave, and that'll be the end of D from here, right? That's the 3-wave move. That would be essentially A, B, C, right? That's the kind of thing that I'm trying to explain here, right? Now, it's not always easy to explain it because it's fractal patterns. I do teach this stuff. It's not an exact science because it's about how well you can identify it using the parameters, right? So at the moment, right, we've got this the first A wave here, and then we've got like, I call this a zigzag, right? It's a stretched out basically zigzag, and then so that's A, and then we're looking for B, right? So that's basically this one here for B, right? So we're looking for that kind of thing, right? So for this short-term update, I suppose the point of I'm trying to make here is, okay, so what's going on the smaller time frame? Okay, so first of all, in order for this idea to not be invalidated, we cannot make a high above this area right here. Okay, right there. Okay, if we go above this area, that invalidates that this is an unfolding zigzag right here, right? So basically from here on out, we have to see more downside. Now, within that zigzag itself, what is the pattern that I'm seeing here? Okay, so first of all, I see potentially a zigzag here, right? So A, and then a small b, C, D, E. Potentially, that's what it could be, or, right, because they don't always happen sometimes they can be pretty sharp, but because this is kind of like a small zigzag, I wouldn't be surprised if that was it, and now we're going to go down for the C wave, right? So essentially it'd be A, B, and then C, right? Not too complex, right? Because then things just get complex forever, right? So because we're already working within a larger zigzag, right? So for it to just keep going forever and ever and ever and ever, I mean, sometimes that can happen, and there are certain markets where it does go sideways for a long time. These things just, can just correct for a long time, basically. But in this case, I don't think that's going to happen. We're just looking for the A, the B, and then we get the C, the D, the E, before we move down to complete the D wave, right? So just repeating myself quite a bit there, but basically what I'm just trying to say is we're going to have another move down for B, up for C, D, E, and then back down to this, probably around this midway point, depending where that E ends for this. We'll have that completed zigzag, and then one more time up for B, and then down for C, which will be the same length as the initial move, right? So the initial move, wherever E wave ends, we measure the A wave and then extrapolate the length, and then it could basically potentially, move down to support or something, right? It may even go down to the red line. You understand what I'm saying? Depending where that E wave ends. Don't be surprised if that happens, right? And then, so I'll just zoom out a bit. So that would complete the D wave, technically, right? So after that, you'd get your last E wave, the one I mentioned earlier, and then your last C wave. Okay, that's what I'm seeing, right? So that last E wave will complete the B wave that started back, I'll just go to the daily, right? It'll complete the B wave that started back in 2018, right? If this count is correct, right? So you can have 5-wave moves that start off like leading diagonals, right? You have a zigzag there, another zigzag there, and another zigzag there. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that makes A, right? And then you go for B, which I explained to you already. There's A, B, C, D, E, right? Now, even went as far as going into the D wave to explain how those waves are unfolding, right? So it's just a matter of understanding how the waves work, and then you'll see roughly how and why I'm coming up with this particular idea. It's not based on hope. We all have the hope that this thing moves up. We do, right? Trying to just say you're wrong, this and that, you're completely wrong or whatever. That's great. That's your opinion, right? But you can't say for sure. I mean, unless you give me a reason why you say that. I mean, it could be probably fundamentally related or something, right? That's just your opinion, right? News to me doesn't really mean much. Okay, it's just like a blip. Yeah, it's just another little wave that goes on, right? But overall, this is a bullish market. So all these things are going to go sky high. You can probably throw darts at a wall and pick a few cryptos that'll probably all skyrocket, right? It seems to be the way it's going. I just like Ripple because of its utility and its use case, and I think it's probably going to revolutionize the banking industry. And I'm not going to go against governments trying to escape the system like some people do, thinking Bitcoin is the end all be all. I just trying to be realistic about it. That's why I like Ripple. So hopefully you found this video interesting and informative. Thank you for watching.